Hey everyone, welcome back to another week rotations video. We're on now week number 43 in the series where I show you everything I've worn all for the week, and it's everything from my collection. So some things may be designer, some things may be niche or indie, but most of them are gonna be cheapies because that is what I enjoy collecting and what this whole channel is about. Starting off with the first work day of last week, because I did do my last one ending on Sunday instead of on Saturday like I usually do. So starting on the first day of the work week, I wore one that I opened up in my recent clone haul, big cold weather clone haul fragrance video, and I put a link to it right here where I opened up a lot of different ones, and a lot of them are very hyped ones that people have been talking about all over the fragrance community for a long time. And this one is especially hyped from this company. It's been talked about here and there everywhere. Everyone's been recommending it to me, and I finally got it and wore it, and I really enjoyed it. Spoiler alert, I did really enjoy this one. It is by Lattafa, and this one is called Liam, but most people call it Liam Gray. I know they pronounce it G-R-E-Y. I sometimes spell it out G-R-A-Y, but it is neither here or there. This is one that's meant to be a clone of BDK's Gris Charnel. So a very sweet but cardamom, black tea, fig fragrance. Has a lot of a base sweetness to it, a lot of vanilla, almost a little delectable in a way, but that fig comes across a little bit fruity, but a little earthy as well. It doesn't have a ton of sweetness that's in itself. It's more of just the cardamom spices and the vanilla. I think there's like tonka bean and some other things in there that are underneath a little bit vanillic, ambery, musky. This is really nice though. Honestly, really didn't know what to think about this one at first because I'm not really a huge fig guy, or at least I found out recently, I guess, that I'm a huge fig guy because I thought it smelled a little different. But then again, I guess I'm not used to wearing something with fig in it. I only have like maybe one or two other fragrances I've had that's had fig in it. But this one, it did get better, a lot better as it dried down, as it wore on the skin. Now I imagine as it matures and sits on the side like most Middle Eastern fragrances do, that it will continue to get even deeper, even richer, and more to what it's supposed to be and what it's meant to be cloning. But yeah, this one smelled amazing. This is one that can definitely be a spring, fall, and winter like signature scent. Definitely a springtime, I think it fit maybe a little bit better because that black tea and fig kind of have like a weird spring kind of herbal kind of facet to it. But I did really like it. Absolutely enjoyed it. This is one I think was great for everyday wear, casual, out and about. Maybe not so much for office unless you spray very intimate, but it does have a very sexy, delectable sweetness about it. You just kind of want to eat it in a way. It's not a gourmand, but it has an addictive nature to it. It lasted pretty well on my skin. I mean, going on like maybe 6-7 hours or so, very intimate projection at that point, but the majority of the fragrance, it had like a good medium projection, good sillage to it. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Again, can't wait till it dries down and matures a little more so I can actually see what this is really meant to be and the best that it can be. But as far as I know, this is a really good clone of it, and I really can't wait to see how this is going to, you know, sit there and do the fancy fun stuff that Middle Eastern fragrances do. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. And at nighttime, it got very cold. Actually, the rest of the week, this past week has been really cold, and coming up in the next week is gonna be even colder. So definitely can get out more of my cold weather scents, whether it be fall or winter style. And this is one that I've been holding on to for a while, but still going through all those samples from I got from a kit from Aaron Chance Hughes. And these are all from older batches. I know he's redeveloped some and renamed and whatnot. Some of these are even discontinued, but I had like 3 left, and this was one of the 3. So now I have 2. Used it up, only had a little bit left in it, but I really enjoyed wearing what little was left in this for the rest of the night. And this is his fragrance called Tobacco. I've already talked about this one a good bit back, I think last year, maybe the beginning of this year, on I think the last time I wore it. But this is a very tobacco scented fragrance, a little bit smoky, but very herbal, aromatic, very sweet, musky, like most of his stuff in his style is. And it had a good bit of almost a floral, almost oud, Middle Eastern Oriental twist to it, but a very tobacco scented fragrance, like almost the best you can get out of tobacco. Again, not overly sweet, but just the right balance. I know a lot of his other stuff can be very sweet because that's the style, but this one wasn't. It leaned way more into a very true to nature tobacco scent. Loved it. What little I had in here, I sprayed on my neck and a little bit on my shirt or my skin, and just really enjoyed it. It lasted the whole night, and it was like I could smell it all through, and just was basking in what was left in it. But yeah, really enjoyed this one. Again, I don't know if tobacco is still in his rotation and in production now, but if he does have it or something like it, definitely recommend getting some of his new sample kits and trying out some of his new fragrances because they are definitely worth it. Very artisanal style and very interesting and much into his personality. I really love it. I love all his stuff. But yeah, this is one that I now use. This one, I only have 2 more left, so I'm kind of having to hang on to those. But yeah, really enjoyed this one. Absolutely loved it. Then that Tuesday, I wore one that I opened up in a recent rack store haul. I think I uploaded this past Friday, so I'll probably try to put a link to it right here. And this is one of them that I did not expect, didn't even know they made this, but it's the most recent release in the Mercedes-Benz, I think, signature line, what they call it. The original Mercedes-Benz, you know, is like one that has a very aqua, you know, Dior Fahrenheit kind of feel to it, a very violet, fresh, but floral, and things like that. And this one opened up very differently from how it actually smelled on my skin and how it developed, but I did still really enjoy it. But it's this one, Mercedes-Benz Ultimate. Has that nice blue, dark blue, navy kind of style and colorization to it. And this is actually an eau de parfum concentration, unlike the original, which was an eau de toilette. But this is one that at first I thought it opened up a little leathery, very petrol, kind of violet heavy, but none of those notes were in there. But I did still really enjoy it. It actually ended up being way more to what the note breakdown was, which is a very conifer, woody, almost balsam, pine, aromatic, herbal style fragrance. Not as herbal, again, as John Varvatos Artisan Blue, which is I will always reference to as being the most herbal, like almost kitchen spices kind of fragrance that I have, aside from Alpha Supremacy incense. But still, this one did very much on the conifer, woody style, very much in like a spring, maybe summer evening or cool end of summer, fall kind of style. Probably not something that's going to be more in the cold of winter. It did have a good bit of freshness to it, but I did still really enjoy it. Not really the most unique thing that I have up here, but again, it is in the line. I'm trying to collect the whole line, so I think I still will keep it, and it still does have its place. I mean, if you want a good, woody, professional, almost a little formal, mature kind of style fragrance for every day, again, warmer to almost cool end of the seasons, this is a great one to go with, and didn't have the best performance. I think a medium projection overall with a nice, like maybe 5 to 6 hours of longevity, then start getting intimate after that, but still not bad at all. It smelled great. It's very well rounded. I think it is perfumed by Olivia Crisp, so it has a great blend of quality to it. It smelled great. Just not probably the most unique woody fragrance, but if you do like, you know, conifer, woody, like pine style of fragrances like Mankind Legacy, or like I said, John Varvatos Artisan Blue, or even the original Guess Man in that green bottle, this is a great one to go with, like an upgrade from that Guess one. But still really enjoyed it, but just not the one that stood out the most out of all this week. That nighttime, again, it was a cool night, got home and sprayed this one that I was debating whether to wear it or not, but I saw it sitting here and I was like, you know what, I need to wear this just to get up and talk about it again, especially since I've learned a few more things about it. But it is one that was very, very inexpensive from a rack store I bought and not hyped a whole lot about unless you really know, and if you go to rack stores pretty often, you know about this brand and what they can have and what they can do. But it's about Tahari, but this is in their Tahari Privé line, and this one was Bordeaux Elixir. I think it's also called Bergamot Musk on the box, or at least maybe that's like kind of note breakdown or kind of, you know, first impressions, but this one is anything but bergamot and musky. Very, very vanillic, sweet, ambery. It actually has a lot of similarities to like Aaron Terrence Hughes style of fragrances, like Hard Candy Elixir, you know, one starts with the S and ends with a T, Daddy, things like that. That very almost fruity strawberry, but not too strawberry like a Hard Candy is, but very vanillic, sweet, almost candy kind of style. And I learned from Dustin from the Fragrance Fan channel, this is actually meant to be a clone or inspiration of Jean-Paul Gaultier's La Male Elixir, and I can get that in here, but it's not as honey, not as tobacco-y, and it does have a lot of lavender, but not as tobacco-y kind of style in that area, but I do see the similarities with that. It's kind of like a twist on that, but I think it's focusing way more on these sweet, airy musk and vanillas and things like that. This is a great layering fragrance. If you have a fragrance that doesn't have a lot of sweetness to it, even though it is for a cold weather style, and you want to add a good burst of vanillic, almost candy sweetness, spray this either on top or underneath, and it will blend in very, very nicely. Did love it. It projects, it performs amazing. I mean, easily, like almost all night, even my clothes, I smelled it the next day, and even when I put the pajamas back on later the next night, I still smelled them on there. And I mean, a good sillage to it. It gets a noticeable, like medium projection, maybe even loud overall, but still not bad at all. Absolutely love it. If you do get a chance to pick this up or see any of the other Tahari Privé stuff, definitely recommend getting it and trying it out. The next one on that Wednesday is one that has very quickly become one of my absolute favorite Middle Eastern fragrances and styles out of my whole collection. Absolutely love this stuff. I will talk about it probably in some future videos coming up because I really have to talk about it because I don't see anyone else, especially in the mainstream community, talking about this one. It is by Paris Corner, and this is the original Cair. So I know Cair, the majority of the Cair line, Cair Pistachio, Confection, Felicity, Fusion, all of those those are way more feminine leaning, if not majority all just totally feminine leaning, cloning more of the Kayali kind of brand and all the releases they have. But this one, the original one, is very masculine leaning. I wouldn't even say it's unisex. I'd say it's just unisex, totally masculine. But this is one that is, I love it. It is meant to clone Gisai's Imperial Valley. Oh, and I love it. It is a very fresh but light style of oud, but it does have a double oud note in here. It has agarwood and oud, or maybe like two different styles of oud, and leather. Oud leather is what you get in this, is the forefront, very oriental style, but it has a lightness to it. A lot of Divana in here, which adds a little bit of a somewhat fruity sweet, but very aromatic herbal style in here. This is a very aromatic fragrance overall. So what you get with this is something that is forefront, woody, oud, leathery, aromatic, and then underneath it, balancing everything out, is a subtle sweetness and fruitiness under everything, a little muskiness in there as well. This is an amazingly made and blended fragrance and a clone. I absolutely love this, and this is one that you can almost pretty much wear all year round, probably aside from these super high heat in summer. But if you're very light the sprays in these summer nights, you can get away with it. And every other season, every other time of the year, you can definitely wear this one. This is one I think was even great probably in spring and fall time, probably better for those seasons, but wintertime as well. I just love this stuff, and how it wears on the skin is just beautiful. I was smelling it all day, so performance on this one is very, very good. Easily a 8+ hour longevity, especially on clothes, with a nice medium, almost medium loud projection for the first part of the fragrance. And as it dries down, it stays medium with a great sillage to it. Like I said, I was able to smell it on my clothes and on my neck and my chest all day long, and maybe a little bit on my arms as well. Love it. Like I said, a very almost animalic style of leather and oud at the very front, but it quickly dies off into this a basic but very wearable, fresh style of oud and leather. Absolutely love this stuff. Totally underrated. I've been seeing this pop up at Ross Dress for Less a lot of different times. So if you do happen to see any of the Paris Corner stuff, but especially the regular Cair, and you're a guy out there and you think that these are way more feminine leaning, this one is not. Do yourself a favor, pick this up if you want a great signature everyday but mature and like almost sexy classical style of oriental oud, leather, and aromatics. This is a perfect one to go with. Absolutely love this one. And at nighttime to follow it up was another oud style fragrance that is a clone, and one that you don't hear talked about a whole lot. I know originally Eli from the Common Sense channel talked about this one. I know he's not uploading a whole lot anymore, but he did have a video dedicated talking about this, and even Ash recently in a video he uploaded last week talked about this fragrance, which is weird because I thought about wearing this, and then later that day watched a video he uploaded like the day before talking about this, and I was like, well, it gets to the sign, I need to wear it. I did buy it like way back in the summer, and it's been sitting on my shelf, and I think now is the time to break it out. It is by Fragrance World, and this one is Absolute Oud Magnificent 7. This is meant to be a clone of M7 by Yves Saint Laurent, also called Oud Absolute. Then I think it's Oud Absolute M7, which is I think a discontinued fragrance at this point. So this is one that will, if you want to smell like that, or if you enjoyed that fragrance and you want to get something like it, this is the one to get. It has dried down and macerated, matured, being something that is just amazing. This is a very matured, classy style of oud, very patchouli. The forefront has a very clean, but still animalic, oriental style of oud, almost Western style, but still having a little bit of that very Middle Eastern aspect, but not being something that's too funky, you know, or barnyard, things like that. Very clean oud, but it is oud, a little dark, has a spicy powderiness that comes up. Like I said, a lot of patchouli. I don't think there really is any florals in this. There may be like labdanum or something like that, giving it almost a leathery, a little darker feel to it, but a little ambery, like I said, woody, majority woody, a little dry as well. Hardly any sweetness in this at all. Maybe a tad bit as it dries down more, but it's really just a dry, woody oud fragrance. But this stuff is very, very good. Probably exclusively for the cool end of fall, winter, and spring. Again, very dressed up, classical. If you're a guy who is mature, you're grown up, you have like business meetings you go to at night, or going out and about, or on dates, or formal gatherings, or whatever, and you want a formal dressed up style of oud, this is a great one to go with. And even though it's a clone, it smells amazing quality. Very different too from anything else I have in my collection. So if you think all ouds smell the same, I I would highly urge you to try this out and see what you think about it. Absolutely love it. Also had a great performance as well. Lasted me all night, like 5 to 6 hours with a medium projection. Absolutely wonderful. Really love this one. And like I said, one that's not talked about a whole lot, even though it's dirt cheap, very available, and is cloning a fragrance that used to be very well hyped back in the day. So yeah, highly recommend this one a lot. That next day had another fun time with a daily wear fragrance that you don't hear anyone talk about anymore. And even though it came out back in the 90s, it slaps today. This stuff is amazing. Don't know why anyone else doesn't talk about this one, because I think it's one of the better releases that this company has had over all the years that they've had it in their line and production. But yeah, this is one that is by Burberry, and it is the original Burberry Men. You've probably seen this everywhere at rack stores and thought, oh, it's just an old school cheapie. No one talks about it. It's probably way done and gone, way past its glory days, but I urge you to try this out and see what you think about it. There's a lot of people on Fragrantica that was kind of really hyping this up or really downgrading it, and I was like, I'm gonna try it out and see what I think, and I love this stuff, especially on skin. This stuff is great. This is a very minty green, fresh, woody, little musky, aromatic style of fragrance, and actually surprisingly has a little bit of a fruity, sweet nuance at the very top and mid that smells actually very modern. If this is put in a different modern style bottle and someone put the date of 2024 on it, no one would bat an eye. It actually is very up to date, very clean. It doesn't really have all that 90s kind of retro funk kind of must to it. Very minimal doesn't have it, but it is almost indistinguishable from anything you'd get nowadays. It just smells very classic, not even old school, just classic masculine, easy to wear daily kind of style. Definitely one you can wear almost all year round, probably aside from the cold of winter, because it does have that fresh greenness about it. Springtime, definitely. Summertime, definitely. And even fall, I think works great as well. But this is one that, again, the mint in this, the top note is mint. It's so noticeable, but it's almost photorealistic. Not so much like You or Someone Like You by Eat Libre de Orange, but it is very noticeable, especially when you have to look for it. Absolutely love this stuff. And the only thing about it is it doesn't have the best performance. It has a nice medium projection overall, but it lasts about like 4 hours noticeably. But I didn't mind going home on my lunch break, spraying and refreshing back over again and wearing again for the next 4 hours. I did enjoy this. This is one I think almost anyone could wear. Younger guys might not take to this one, but if you want something that is mature, classical, everyday kind of wear for formal office wear, casual, out and about, whatever, this is really, really good. Like, I'm surprised no one's talked about this because this stuff still slaps today. Absolutely recommend this one. It's a 90s release, but it smells like it could be released within the past 5 years. Absolutely love this one. In the nighttime war, another one that is not talked a whole lot about, even though it came out very recently and it smells really, really good, probably because of the company that's from, that people don't give a whole lot of credit to it, even though this smells very different from anything that you'd expect them to put out, especially in this line. It is by Calvin Klein, and this one is Eternity for Men Amber Essence. Again, I think this came out either this year or last year. I know there's also an aromatic essence that was released as well, but this one, definitely way more for the colder weather. I mean, like cold. I think more for the fall nighttime, maybe winter day, but definitely winter and fall nighttime, and spring on the cooler end of that as well. But this is one that, like the name says, very ambery sweet, almost a little bit of fruity sweetness on the top, a lot of vanillic, benzoin kind of aspects. I think there's also bourbon vanilla in here, which is a very specific style. Smells absolutely incredible, especially after it wears down after the opening into that mid. It really blooms out and smells incredible. A little similar to something like Prana Luna Rosa Ocean, the new Parfum release, but not so much how that one smells like Latent. This doesn't smell anything like Latent. It just smells like that, but almost a far cry from that, but still really good. Absolutely love it. A lot of people say it also smells like Eternal Oud by Lattafa, which is also cloning Grand Soir by MFK. I think it may be a little similar to there, even though Grand Soir is way more ambery, full, and expansive. This one still isn't bad at all. It's a very, very easy to wear nighttime, especially date night fragrance for younger guys out there. Even older guys want something that's very seductive and alluring. This is perfect for it. It smells amazing, very smooth. Again, once it hits that mid, the dry down, it smells amazing, great quality. Not the best performance like you'd expect from something that is like I think it's a Parfum Intense kind of concentration. It definitely does not go out that far. Again, it depends on how much you spray. I was a little conservative with it because I was afraid of how loud it'd be, and plus I was in the house and whatnot. But still, I think if you spray it up, it will last you a good bit. I mean, it lasted on me almost the whole night, going on almost 6+ hours with a nice medium to infant projection overall. But the first little bit, it was very loud, had a great sillage. Like I said, it. Smells amazing. Found this at a rack store for like sub $30 for this size here, and I think at discounters, you probably better get it for a full-size bottle for around the same price. But yeah, not bad. An amazing flanker. Again, smells totally different from anything that Calvin Klein does, but absolutely love it. Definitely recommend if you go try it out, especially now that we're getting into that more colder end of the season of fall and winter. Definitely recommend getting it and having it in your hands. And then that Friday wore another one that I opened up in my recent rack store haul video, along with the Mercedes-Benz one. It's one from a clone company that I haven't heard a whole lot about, even if people have been commenting saying, oh yeah, man, you need to check out this fragrance from them and this one. I've been seeing them all around here. I haven't seen them at all, but I'm really curious now to see what else they have after smelling this one. It is by a company called Arif, and this one is called Ramadi. So this one to me, and even how Fragrantica has it, and I was kind of skeptical on, does it really smell like this? Does it smell like this? And I did settle on it, definitely smell like more one than the other. This has a lot of similarities to me to Paco Rabanne or Rabanne's 1 Million Lucky, very much in that sweet, almost hazelnut, ozonic, fresh green opening, drying down, having a more centralized sweetness rather than an airy sweetness like that, like a vanilla, maybe a little bit of fruitiness in there, a little bit of an aromatic nature as well, not so much woods, and it didn't really have that total gourmand factor like 1 Million Lucky has. 1 Million Lucky is definitely better quality, a lot more complex, and actually has way better performance than this, even though this one wasn't that bad. I sprayed on that morning, it wore off, had to go out somewhere about 4 hours after I sprayed this, refreshed again, and I could smell it on me actually way later, almost into that evening. So that second time around, I guess a layering on top of the other one definitely lasted a little longer and had a more centralized, seductive, but a very core sweetness to it. But again, one that I will let sit and macerate or mature and all that fancy fun stuff for a little bit and see how it smells later down the road. But again, this is one I think would be great for the spring and fall time. Fresh sweetness, young guys will love it. Just not totally sold on what it's supposed to be or how the quality is. Again, I'm gonna let it sit and see what I think about it. But again, if you see this brand or anything like it, or especially this one here, try it out and see what you think about it. And if you do, let me know what you think and see if you agree with my comparisons on that. And then you got today, Saturday, you know, my usual, me and my wife and baby going out, getting groceries, shopping around, and I actually am about to prepare for a live stream here in just a little bit, so I'm trying to hurry this video up. And I have some fragrances here on the side that I bought, even some that I got ordered in, opened up in that live stream. And so I was looking around trying to find other things as well, bought my wife some stuff and all of that, and wore one that I haven't worn in a long while. It's very well hyped for a while in the fragrance community, especially the cheap community. It kind of died off in popularity, but I think people need to go back to it. It was thought to have been discontinued way long ago, but it still is in production and you see it everywhere. It is by the company of Mont Blanc, and this one is the original Individuel. I know there's also one called Individual Tonic. I haven't smelled that one. A lot of people say that it's actually underrated as well, but this one is the hype beast one, especially from Jeremy Fragrance, who hyped it up to the moon and back, and we got everyone's nose on it himself. But this one, still really like it. I still smell it on my arms and on my shirt and on my neck right now, and I sprayed this like easily 6 hours ago. So it's going on pretty strong, not a little over 6 hours. So yeah, I've gotten varied performance with this. Sometimes I thought it was weak, but right now I think it's very strong, lasted me a good bit. And like I said, still smell it on me. This is one that smells almost like a product of its time, that mid 2000s. I think it came out in 2004 or 5 or maybe 2003 or so, but it has that very mid 2000s musky, spicy sweetness to it. A lot of sandalwood in here, good bit of a, I think it's a raspberry note, a little bit of a fruity sweetness pop on the top, but overall it has a very clean, woody, spicy vibe to it, almost like a clean linen laundry like vibe to it. I let my wife smell it and I was like, I haven't worn this in a while, what do you think about it? And she smelled it, and the first thing she said was, ooh, that smells very clean, and she loves clean stuff. So this is one that smells very clean, very appropriate for office wear, casual, out and about. Young guys might not like it so much, but it does have a little bit of a sweet kick that may be a little enticing to you, but still, love this. It definitely still deserves the hype today. It's still out and about in rack stores for like $20, depending on the size bottle you get. And I think it does deserve it, and I think it really does deserve to be talked about some more. I think I might do a video here soon, or a short, talking about this one, maybe Burberry for men over here. I mean, two forgotten ones that no one talks about, but still works very, very well today, and they smell amazing. Yeah, really love this one. If you haven't got your hands on this, if you heard talked about forever and you still haven't got your nose on it, I encourage you to please go out and about, buy it for that very cheap price now for $20 or under dollars. I mean, you can't really do too much with that. I mean, you can't really lose a whole lot on that either, especially when talking about this one. Then you'll see what everyone is talking about, but still, really recommend it. Highly recommend that you try it out and see what you think about it. And there you go, guys, all the things I've worn all through the week, and majority of them were first time wears, things that I haven't worn a whole lot of, or if any, maybe just smelled on a test strip but never actually wore it on me. And this week was a really, really good week. All of them I absolutely loved. It was just a really, really good smelling week overall, really did. But any of these that stood out to you, any of these that maybe you've been looking at or that you own and you think, hey man, you know what, yeah, people need to talk more about that one, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Or what do you get out of some of these fragrances? Or what things would you recommend to me as well that, hey, if you like this one, you need to check out this as well. I'd love to hear about it. So let me know in the comments below. And as usual, if you like this video, if you enjoy what you've seen here, please consider giving the video a like and a thumbs up. Let me know to keep making videos just like this and hopefully bringing out more interesting stuff to you guys that you would want to watch and that would be entertaining. And as usual, if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to this channel, but you do like what you see here or what you've seen elsewhere on the channel, I encourage you to please consider supporting this channel by subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you can see all the things that I have in the background that I'm working on to bring out to you guys that hopefully you'd all watch and enjoy. And I'd love for you to be right along with me on this cheap and inexpensive fragrance journey. And hey, maybe I can even help you discover something new along the way. And as usual, guys, that's all I have for this video. Again, thank you for being here and for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And as usual, I will see all of you again in the next video. Be blessed.